Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I hope. Yeah, I gotta go to my... Because I want to talk about some stuff. Because, like, well, I'm giving you guys obviously some Call of Duty Black Ops 4 footage. Okay, you can hear me? Okay, good. Is it clear? I hope it's clear. Because I've been... Whenever, like, I accidentally, like, sometimes my mic tilts over and sometimes the settings change without me knowing it, so... Okay. Thank you, Sarah. You're such a sweetheart and a half. I love it. So, all right. So we know now for like the last... Mic volume is perfect. Okay, cool. Thank you. Because sometimes it adjusts and then sometimes the button accidentally gets pressed and I don't notice it because I'm a dork. So, and that's important, you know. And after doing YouTube for like 8 years now, or over 8 years now, it's like one of the first things you realize is, well, one of the things you realize is that volume is important, but not just volume, but like the sound's got to be clear and all that other stuff. So hope you enjoy the Black Ops 4 gameplay. At least I wanted to do something different with the gameplay because you guys have been watching a lot of rinse and repeat X Defiant footage, so I don't want to put you guys through that. So, um, so there's that. So, all right. So, check this out. Here's an interesting bit of piece of news. You know how Microsoft like basically won the court case against the FTC? Well, the FTC is they filed an appeal, believe it or not, even though it's unlikely that they're going to win, even way less likely than the original court case, but they did it anyway. So everybody online, including professionals, are basically saying that it's basically a waste of taxpayers' money. And they're just trying to delay it, even though it's not really going to do anything good at the end of the day. So, um, so there's that. So that's pretty interesting. But I still think that Microsoft might be able to close by Friday or the end of Friday or by Monday or something like that. So that's going to be interesting. But there's not going to be any new Call of Duty titles until 2025 on Game Pass. But I think as far as the old stuff goes, it can be on Game Pass. Actually, there's people out there saying that the servers have been fixed on the Xbox side. But here's the interesting thing, though. It's like, well, what about the risks? You know, what about the risks of all the stuff that has been mentioned previously? So I don't know. I personally do not know. Obviously, I hope that there are no risks because apparently, whenever you play a new Call of Duty game, there's risks. But one thing that's really cool though is like my latest video didn't get a lot of views, and that's actually a good thing because people are wanting X Defiant at this point. Well, again, my channel is certainly not the end all be all, but like, yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are, especially Black Ops 2 and even a few others. Absolutely. There's just no way that they're not. It's unfortunately it's just the way the cookie crumbles, so to speak. It's we live in a day and age to where people find joy out of not playing the game legitimately. But it is what it is. There's really there's nothing really you can really do about it. So there's that. Even with Xbox getting the old game back up, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's the case. That's why you don't see me on Call of Duty. Well, that's one of many reasons, but it's gonna take real legit change in order for me to support the franchise or even do videos on it as well. It's gonna be real change. So and until we get that real change, it just isn't gonna happen. So, and Call of Duty's unfortunately has obviously been disappointing, but at the same time I really don't care because I really don't play the game anymore. And as far as the old Call of Duties are concerned, I've played the old Call of Duty so much, and don't get me wrong, I mean, I still get an itch for them every now and then, but the way my mind is working is like, why go to those when you got X Defiant coming up? And X Defiant is a lot more original because it's new. It's not something that you've done for too long before, except for the arcade shooter part. So it's like X Defiant is where it's at, you know, and there's more than enough things to play, and that's the beauty of it, right? That's the overall beauty of gaming, is that there's always something more to play. There's always something new to play. Even if it's a single player game, there's always something to play. You know, basically, if anybody says at this point, you know, I respect everybody's point of view, but if anybody basically says um that gaming feels like dry or something like that, it's like, dude, it's like you got to look at some of these other games. You really need to look at some of these other games, because it's like if you're only playing one game from one kind of franchise and stuff like that, it's like you really got to kind of reevaluate, because you know, reevaluating is going to make you realize that, hey, I can't talk about all of gaming because, well, you know, so it sucks, you know, that Call of Duty's down bad, but at the same time, it leaves the room open for somebody else to come in and just kind of change things up. So that's the way I see it. But um, I'm really hoping, you know, because I did a few practice takes, including one really long one, one that was about an hour and 20 minutes after coming back from pool yesterday or last night or whatever it was. So, um, and the thing is, like, there's so much potential with this merger with Activision being bought and taken over by Microsoft. It's like with Halo, you know how in Halo they are continuously working on the Master Chief Collection, even as up until recently, like actually even up until a few days ago, they released another big update. It's like, can you imagine if they did that with COD? Or, you know, if they made a Treyarch collection or an Infinity Ward collection. And as far as Halo goes, I just wish Xbox were to, like, you know, the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer's boss, basically said that he you know, if it was up to him, and I'm paraphrasing here, he said if it was up to him, he wouldn't have console exclusives. So it's like, or there wouldn't be console exclusives. So I'm like, okay, dude, then make Halo Infinite's multiplayer and the Master Chief Collection, make that shit available for PlayStation, make it crossplay. Oh, wait a minute, but I just thought of something. PlayStation needs to sign off on it. If that were to happen, PlayStation actually needs to sign off on it. And to my knowledge, PlayStation really doesn't want to collaborate with Xbox on anything. I heard it took quite a bit for them just to make Call of Duty crossplay. Like, it took, you know, it was delayed. It could have been done sooner, but PlayStation on their side were basically just like, you know, whatever their deal is. So it just kind of makes me laugh. Although crossplay has had its fair share of problems over the years, though, like a lot of problems because of the cheating situation and all that other shit. So, by the way, how was the film? How was the movie? Was it good? 9 out of 10. Love it. Good. Yeah, Tom Cruise is incredible. The PlayStation may change because they are making a ton of live service games coming to Xbox. That's true. Um, you know, the only thing that sucks is that live service only, like, it sounds good on paper, but a lot of entities just don't execute them as well, unfortunately. That's the thing. The execution is not as good as uh, as the written part is on paper, unfortunately. What up, RMD? How's it going? You have one complaint about the movie, okay? I wonder if it was something story related. I'm starting to wonder if it was story related. Let's see. I would spoil the movie if you said it. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Well, well, there is a part two, so you never know what could happen in part two and whatever's going on. Action scenes are some of the most phenomenal. Yeah. Oh, I bet. Tom Cruise just manages to keep outdoing himself. He's like a different version of Keanu Reeves. I'd say Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves are probably some of the best action stars out there today. So there's that. Yeah, I love both of those guys. Those guys do a great job. There's there's just no way that you can't be happy with either one of those two. Those guys did a movie together. That'd be great. One thing I've always wanted is I always wanted kind of like a what's it called, a John Wick Ethan Hunt. I'm sorry, no, not John Wick Ethan Hunt. I've always wanted a James Bond Ethan Hunt crossover. Like in other words, James Bond and Mission Impossible crossover. That would have been nice with Daniel Craig. I would have loved that. Like to where those two guys actually had to team up on a mission. In my opinion. Yeah, that would have been nice. I mean, if I had made a movie channel, it would be one of the things that I would definitely would have talked about because they just fit in so well. And the chemistry between the two would be insane. And then of course you can always have all the side characters, so there's a lot of different ways where it can go. I know Tom Cruise would be all for that. But at the same time, Daniel Craig, he's probably tired of playing James Bond, and I sure as hell don't blame him. I can't blame that man whatsoever, especially with all the injuries and stuff he's had. Sarah, are you talking about the new MW2 or are you talking about the OG MW2? That is correct, Sarah. Are the old CODs on Game Pass now? To my knowledge, no. It's a little too soon. They kind of have to wait until Friday, but the FTC has already filed an appeal in an attempt uh, to kind of make things like to delay things, but it's unlikely that they're going to win it even if it does go to a certain point. At least that's what the professionals are saying as well, like people that know the law. So, and it's a waste of taxpayers' money. That's another thing what a lot of people are. So there's that going on right now. But it is possible that Microsoft is still going to try to close by Friday or something like that. So, uh, yeah, I think a lot of people will agree with you, especially if you followed the case. It's like they were, it's like they were specifically just trying to protect Sony, and even the judge multiple times was like, "Hey, this is not about Sony. This is about the consumer." So, so it's like overall, for the consumer, it's much better. For the consumer, Game Pass and Activision Blizzard is gonna be a hell of a deal. Especially, you know what? And I'm also happy for the Nintendo people because they're gonna be able to play Call of Duty now too. So Um, so that's something that's really appealing. You finally get the Nintendo side of people. Just they got access to COD now. Do you think they will slowly drop Activision Blizzard games, or will they just game dump everything at once? To be honest, probably slow dump if you ask me. But well, here's the thing. I know that the newer CODs are not going to be coming to Game Pass on launch on day one, because they have to honor they've already said that they would honor the contract that Sony has with Activision throughout 2024. So you won't see any changes until 2025 at the most. But it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what comes on Game Pass. Like all the OG stuff. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it all comes on Game Pass. Like they might dump everything except for Modern Warfare 2019 and beyond. They might. But it makes kind of sense to like not dump everything in there at once. I don't know, or maybe it does. I don't know. Um, oh, that's actually a really good question, Corny. I was gonna get PS5, but I changed my mind. Yeah, there was one time where I was gonna get a PS5, but I said to myself, I said, look, I've got an Xbox Series X, and I don't know if this was before I got the PC or after, but then I asked myself, I'm like, why would I be getting the PS5? And there was only like one or two games that I wanted to play on the PS5, and I'm like, there's no sense in me getting a PS5, respectfully speaking. So I was like, no. And they had it available at GameStop. When I was at GameStop on that day, there was a guy in the back. There was a guy, and he told me that we've got one in the back right now, ready to go, and it's a bundled one. It came with Madden, which I obviously had no interest in, so I was going to trade that in right away. But I was tempted. It was going to be like 650 bucks, but it was my chance to get a PS5. But I just decided not to. It's too much money for very little game time that I would put on it, respectfully speaking. Because everything I really need is on the Xbox. Plus, if I already had the PC, then it's like, even though it was still tempting, like no. So I was gonna save up my money and buy that Seagate storage expansion for Xbox. Yeah, no. Technically speaking, you don't need to do that, especially if you have a good internet connection. I feel like it would make sense to dump everything from 360 and below, then trickle down Xbox, PS4 and above. Yeah, I mean, or they can dump everything Xbox One and below, or PS4 and below. They can dump that, you know. And what's going to be really cool though is if you have like the OG Crash Bandicoot and Spyro games in the arcade, not just the remasters, but the OG ones that came out for the original PlayStation. I think that'd be cool. I think that would be something worth looking into, because it's always good to compare and contrast. But that's just me. I guess you can say that's just the gamer in me, the geek in me that's talking about that. So because you guys know, I mean, if you've been here long enough, I know RMD knows this, but um, Orny and Sarah, like, for those of you guys that you guys might not know this, but I'm a big Crash Bandicoot / Spyro the Dragon fan. I got both of the remasters on the PS4, and I remember like when I remember during the COVID times, during weekends, I would stream the shit out of those games. I mean, I kind of have to be in the mood to grind those games, but I'll tell you what, when I grind those games, I grind those games. Because when Lego Star Wars came out, like the Skywalker Saga, when that one came out, like I couldn't believe the playtime I had on that game when I looked over my play hours on Xbox Live. I was like, holy shit. I was like, well, maybe I played, I don't know, maybe 35 hours, 40 at the most, but I saw that I had reached 52, and I'm like, what the hell? How did that happen? Um, I'm like, uh, I was like, what the hell? It's like I hadn't grinded a game like that in a long ass time. See, that's the thing, Sarah. That is the thing, Sarah. Check this out. So, um, the good news is, and I actually said this to somebody earlier. I mean, granted, I didn't say what I'm about to say to you in the exact words, but I basically said, look, as long as you enjoy doing whatever it is you're doing. I was talking to a physician today, and she plays tennis, and she's like, well, I'm not very good at it. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Are you having fun with it? And she's like, oh yeah, I love it. And I'm like, well, that's all that matters. And I told her about how 6 or 7 months ago I picked up playing pool, and I'm getting better, but it's like I'm still not very good at it, but but I've gotten better with time. And I was like, that's and I have fun with it, and that's all that counts at the end of the day. The same thing goes with games. And very, very funny. Sarah, have you seen this movie, or anyone in the chat? Have you guys seen the movie Tin Cup, the golf movie with Kevin Costner? It's a 90s movie, so you guys, Crash Bandicoot is Uncharted 4. I didn't know that. But Uncharted was another kind of series that I wouldn't mind getting into. Um, but have you guys seen the movie Tin Cup with Kevin Costner? I play basketball and ride my bike every day after work. Yeah, there you go. See, that's good. Just hey, RMD, just make sure you take care of your knees. I know you're older than me, but please take care of those knees, man. Because back when I was martial arts, oh my god, you know, my knees have gotten damaged because I was doing jump kicks way too much. And back in the day, I weighed 235. Right now, I weigh about 190. Okay, so in Tin Cup, um, there was one line in that movie that I'll never forget ever since I heard it. Uh, he said something along somebody said that um, uh, sex and golf are two sports that you can play and not be good at to enjoy. So it's like, you know, it's not about how good you are at games, it's about how much you enjoy them. So it doesn't matter. So wait, Corny, I think they remastered the first three. So I think if you play the first three, you could play the remastered versions. And hopefully the remastered versions can run at least 60. I hope they can run at least 60. So can't go wrong with those. I have to wear knee pads due to arthritis in my knees. LOL, yeah. Oh snap, Corny, by the version where you get all four in one. Yep. Yeah, if you can get all four in one for a good price and a price that would save you money, absolutely. I lost 15 pounds and I'm down to 209. Nice. Wow, it's hard for me to imagine me being weighing less than other people because for so long I used to weigh 235. But if I start lifting again, it'll go up pretty quick. But I'll be cleaner this time with my diet. I was gonna get it today. A guy on Facebook Marketplace was selling for $10, but I want to be the last of us. Well, um, yeah, just be careful in terms of Facebook and all that other shit. You gotta watch out for that because some people would just be scamming you for that. You're 5'10". Yeah, I'm about an inch and a half taller than you. But yeah, we'll see. You know what the cool thing is though? I'm really legitimately happy that my viewers do not care about Call of Duty anymore that much. I mean, the only reason I have Black Ops 4 gameplay is because you guys have been watching like the same old Apex. I'm sorry, not Apex. I almost said Apex Legends. The same old what's it called? X Defiant gameplay, and I'm like, dude, I gotta give these guys something different to look at because the same old X Defiant footage is ridiculous. So it's like, you know, it's really been overdone at this point. So didn't want to do that to you guys. Didn't want to torture you guys. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome when it you know, it's obviously it's still not over yet, but you know, it's gonna be awesome when things get released on Game Pass, including Crash 4, which is obviously something that I haven't played. So that'd be kind of cool. Because Crash Bandicoot has always been good. So I mean I wish I could be well, technically I can. Technically I can, but I mean but it's like I might as well create a new channel if I'm gonna go, you know, a little bit all over the place. Well, technically speaking, I have one, and it's called Jack's Arcade. Let's Let's see. My doctor thinks I should stay at 209 and build muscle. Well, again, it's all in terms of what your body is comfortable with as well. So don't forget that. I haven't played Crash 4 yet, but I want it to eventually. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with a Crash game. You can't go wrong with Crash. You can't go wrong with Spyro. You can't go wrong with Uncharted. You can't go wrong with God of War. Hopefully they bring back Siphon Filter at some point. For those of you guys that remember Siphon Filter was the shit. Because don't forget, guys, I grew up on all the consoles. I was very lucky to have played, like, I still can't believe I'm saying this, but I had owned every single Sega console that they ever made. Like, I can't believe that that's true, but it is. Like, every single Sega console that they ever released, I had every single one of them growing up. Super Nintendo. Did you know Uncharted started out as Jack 4? I did not know that. I know Jack and Daxter is a little different. Oh, okay. Uncharted started out as Jack 4. Okay, so after Jack and Daxter 3, they were going to do Jack 4, but they turned it into Uncharted. I see what you're saying. Okay. Did not know that. Did not know that. Interesting facts. Interesting facts. I did not know that. I love finding out interesting facts, especially if it's about a subject that I am particularly interested in and care about. That's just me personally. Resistance 1, 2, and 3 on PS3 was great on PS games. I never played those. Um, yeah, I would. And even though I only played a little bit of Spyro 3, let me tell you something. Like, I don't know, man. A part of me wants to, like, I don't know. A part of me just wants to, like, play those single player games left and right. Or maybe I can just do, you know what? Or maybe I can just leave single player games for streams or something like that, or something in the near future. They wanted to make a more realistic looking game and realized that Jack and Dax would not look good and would upset people, so they changed direction. I I understand. I understand where you're going with that, and I totally see where their direction came from. And obviously, games that look good make a really big difference nowadays. But at the same time, I can't help but feel kind of pissed off about that because, well, Jack and Daxter obviously would look, great in terms of the animations and stuff. But I think what you mean to say is that, like, they were looking for like a realistic look. And back in the day, during those days, like, uh, and for back in the day, people were really like all about that realistic look. It's like when you had an Xbox 360 or a PS3, it's like you wanted things to look real. You know what I mean? Even if you played sports games, it's like, oh wow, look at the court, look at the floor on the court, look at the grass on the baseball field. I remember when a friend of mine got the 360 first before I did. He wanted to play some MLB or something like that, a baseball game, and then he's like, wow, look at the grass and all that shit. So it appeals, and he's very casual compared to me. So, well, with this deal going through, PlayStation would have to bring back a few things. Jack and Daxter being one of them. Siphon Filter being another. What about Parasite Eve, guys? Remember Parasite Eve and Dino Crisis? You guys remember those games? Sly, yeah, I remember Sly. These days, whenever somebody says Sly, it reminds me of Sylvester Stallone. Uh huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember in Blockbuster, when I went to Blockbuster to try to get that game a few times, it was impossible to rent. It was completely impossible. Pissed me off as a kid. What else? I'm trying to think of some place. Well, they've already remastered Medieval. Could always make a second one. True Crime, Streets of LA. Damn, RMD, you probably grew up. You probably was PlayStation like your main console growing up, because you're bringing back memories. But I don't. These games are not popping up in my head, so it's like RMD. Your main console had to be PlayStation growing up. I'm assuming. What about Driver? You guys remember Driver? I know some of you guys remember Driver. There's just no way. What's up, Austin? Welcome back. Driver was the shit. I know one of you guys in here remembers Driver. There's just no way you don't. You had both PlayStation and Xbox. You remember the days? Remember the day when Xbox Live came out? Oh man, Jedi Power Battles on the PS1. My Grams and I played it every day. Probably beat it 100 times or more. You could beat it in one sitting. Yeah, back in those days, you could beat games at one sitting. Well, you still can to this day, but in general, games are just getting longer and longer. What's your guys' opinions on that? What's your guys' opinions on games getting longer and longer? Are you all for it or are you against it? And I also, you're against it. Sarah's against it. Bright Experimental comes out. You should try sometime. And also, yes, good long games. Halo and Max Payne was my first loves with the original Xbox. Man, Max Payne was something else. It's becoming too much. I can see where you're coming from. One of my favorite content creators out there today, the Completionist, also known as Gerard, he made a video talking about how like the classic games are dying or something like that, to where like companies like classic games or old games are disappearing because they want us to play the new shit. And it's like, I'm thinking to myself, well, first of all, if it wasn't for the old stuff, we wouldn't be where we are today. Number one. Number two, everybody's gonna love the old shit. So it's like, why are you like limiting things? So I don't care about a game's length. It's about the experience. If it makes me feel something or really think about something, then it's worth the money. Yeah. I mean, it's we're not necessarily talking about from a money perspective. We're just talking about like from a length perspective. Like a game taking like say 50 plus hours to complete. Devil May Cry 1 was my favorite game on PS2 and Soul Reaper. I can see where you're coming with that, but I like Devil May Cry 3. My Own Life was short but so much fun. Yep. And I own Devil May Cry 5, so and I've beaten it, but I haven't completed it. And I hope they make a Devil May Cry 6. Yeah. I really would love a Devil May Cry 6. Ninja Gaiden, yes. Yes. Ninja Gaiden, yes. And I bought Ninja Gaiden Black as well. I beat Ninja Gaiden Black on every single difficulty except Master Ninja difficulty. I think I got burnt out. Once I saw I couldn't even beat the first boss, I got burnt out and I just said fuck it and I just never went back to it. Um Speaking of Ninja Gaiden, RMD, you got me thinking about something. So, what's the hardest game you guys have ever played? What is the hardest game any of you guys have ever played? Um, I don't play Battle Royale, Austin. Sorry. Nor do I play Modern Warfare 2. I mean, I quit playing COD a few years ago. Gaming was something way different back in the day, man. It was like a miracle. Hardest game was Halo 4 because it's broken. Did you attempt it on Lasso or something? Like, were you doing Legendary with all skulls on? Giant map glitch? No, I'm talking about campaign perspective. I'm not talking about multiplayer or anything. I'm talking about like campaign. Hardest game you've ever played. That old school Lion game that was notorious for being hard. I beat that a few times as a kid, but only because I played it so much. It was very frustrating. Really? Which console? The Nintendo version or the Genesis version? Campaign, really? I played campaign and I beat it. You must be playing it on the hardest difficulty or something. The SNES, you think? Okay. I would say Ninja Gaiden for Mega Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES, top 3 toughest games. Um, the Massive Rover mission, really? Huh? Were you playing it on Legendary? The original Batman on NES? Wow. Dark Souls and Bloodborne. And if one of my close friends was in this chat, Sarah, he would probably name Bloodborne as one of them as well. He's a big Dark Souls and Bloodborne fan. To this day, he says Bloodborne is the best Souls game, probably, with Elden Ring coming in a very close second. The map just disappeared. That's interesting. Huh. But people love Bloodborne, though. From every Souls player that I've seen that's played Bloodborne, they all tell me how they love it. Really? I guess I was lucky. Never happened to me. Now, question for you guys is like, if you know a game is really, really hard, would you purposely play it on an even harder difficulty just to see if you can do it? Well, Austin, you could always go back and play Halo 4 right now in that Master Chief Collection, so. Yeah, that's true. If you truly love a game, you're gonna, yeah. I remember back in the day, now please excuse my age, but back in the day, I was like, I don't know how old I was. I was either 10 or 11, and my best friend at the time came to my house with an SNES game called Demon's Crest. And for him at the time, it was like the hardest game he ever played. And he brought it over, and we kept taking turns to play it, so that way we can beat it together, even though we would just pass on the controller because it was a single player game. I miss those days. I don't know about you guys, but I miss those days. I'm just not about torturing myself for something I don't really like. Yeah, hey, you have to like it. Yeah, that is true though, Corny. You have to like it. Alien Isolation was another tough game because Alien stalks you the whole game and nothing kills him. I've seen people play that game. It's definitely a game to where you can turn off the lights, turn on your surround sound, and just put your headsets on and like see what that does to you. I only did that if my goal was to platinum. Played The Last of Us grounded on Last of Us grounded mode. You have to stealth kill just about everything. Aha. Which means it also requires a lot of patience. Like you would have to be very, very patient to play that way. Yeah. So yeah, patience is a big one. Should I try Atomic Heart? Never played Atomic Heart, but if you want to try it, there's no, you can't lose anything out of trying it. My heart was the whole time. Yeah, it was probably racing the whole time you played Alien Isolation. Yeah, probably, probably. And I'm glad they made a game like that because, like, it was just so perfect. Like, you finally ended up getting an Alien game that was good because Aliens Colonial Marines was a letdown. A lot of people were looking forward to that, and it was a letdown. So now we got another Alien game, Alien Isolation, and that was good. So, which is good. Fireteam Elite was also good, and now they're making a real-time strategy game based off of the IP. So, what campaign game should I play if I got Game Pass? Any suggestions? Yeah, now you got me. Now you got me wanting to turn on Game Pass and to see. Now you got me thinking. Hold on. Psychonauts, if you're into platformers, is a good example. Um, let's see. Well, Grand Theft Auto 5, even though I never really got into the Grand Theft Auto games, Grand Theft Auto 5 is also on Game Pass, so you might want to give that a shot. Um, yeah, all three Dead Space games are there. Start with the first. Do not play them out of order. Play the first Dead Space, especially since it's the new one. So, oh, you're not really? You're not allowed to play GTA, huh? Let's see. Hmm. Hmm. Well, that's kind of surprising. I'm assuming you're a teenager. Huh. All right. I guess your parents are very strict about that sort of thing. My brother called me crazy for playing horror games. LOL. Well, um, again, my close friend, um, Half Ton Hammer, he loves horror games. He's all about that shit. Like, he's all about it. You're not gonna, he's all about that stuff. Hopefully, a Doom 3 is gonna be coming out soon, or at least announced, because Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal were excellent. So I hope we get something with that really soon. It's very much worth it. Should you get Callisto Protocol, dude? If you're not allowed to play GTA, and if Callisto Protocol is like, I mean, it's like, dude, come on, man. If anything, if you have Game Pass, play Dead Space 1 instead, because it was from the makers of the Callisto Protocol, number one, and Dead Space was just too legendary. Play Dead Space 1. It's not going to cost you much. Highly recommend. My parents were too. I bought my first M game when I was 18, and then they made me play it with my 14-year-old brother. I was pissed. Bet you were. I bet you were. But yeah, with games like that really like slow things down because of what's happening in game. Those are very, those are very enjoyable type of games. Like another one is a really good um like uh like another classic is what's it called? Damn, my notification went off and I lost my train of thought. Um Another one that comes to mind is, well, obviously Alien Isolation, but um oh, there's one I got on the top of damn it. My notification lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Well, Game Pass costs like 16 bucks a month, and you've got You know, you can only use it for 1 month, but then you got access to so many games. But trust me, I get it. You know, from age, you know, especially from age 15 and on, my family was very poor, so I was very limited. Like whatever I got, and then that was it. So, I trust me, I totally get it. I totally get it. Not your family, you. Well, you're young. You're you're supposed to be at that age, and you're supposed to be poor. You know. Do you have a job? Because if you get a job, you can easily take care of that problem. You can use a percentage of the money you make from work and just you know, get whatever you want, and then put the rest away for something else. Well, then you can easily save up for a Game Pass subscription. That's what I would do if I was you. Easily. You know, it's 16 bucks. That's all you need. 16 bucks. You know, you go to your store and you get one of those Game Pass cards, you know, you pay for it and you type that into your console or whatever, and wham bam, there you go. You got Game Pass for like a month or however long the card lasts. Nothing really wow, okay. Ed Boon is trending on Twitter right now. Why is Ed Boon trending on Twitter? This is interesting. You really don't see his name trending on Twitter. You see his game, but not him. What's this? Um, Always a good day when I get to hang out with Sub Zero, Cole, and Shang Tsung. Thanks to blah blah blah. Oh, okay. Ed Boon is on the set of the new Mortal Kombat movie. Ed Boon in the house. Oh, with the original Sonya. No, with the new Sonya. Okay. Okay, so just a lot of stuff from Mortal Kombat 1. New Mortal Kombat movie and Mortal Kombat 1. Okay. Like what? Like I was thinking to myself, I'm like, why is he trending? Okay. All right, that's cool. That's cool. What is everybody's most anticipated game right now? Well, if you pay for Game Pass every month, then you should have it. Then just get on and play. Get on and download Dead Space 1 or whatever. New Halo is your most anticipated game. X Defiant is Sarah's most anticipated game. I know RMD is gonna say something. He's always looking forward to something. If I know RMD, he's always looking forward to something. I was poor up till 18. Yep. Trust me, I know what that's like. Even after 18, I was still poor. Let's see. New Assassin's Creed and Armored Core 6. Yeah, Assassin's Creed Mirage looks really good. And I think it takes place in India, right? So Assassin's Creed Mirage, yep. And then, um, you know, Assassin's Creed. I have a confession to make as far as Assassin's Creed. I haven't played any Assassin's Creed since the second one, but I completed I beat the first one, but I played a little bit of the second one. But I will say this though, because of Altair being the first assassin that I ever played, I can say that I'm an Altair guy. Although I know that Ezio, the assassin in the second one, is probably the most popular. Like everybody loves Ezio from the second one. But for me, deep down inside, I think I'm always going to be an Altair fanboy because that was the first Assassin's Creed I ever played, and it was the first one I beat. But I remember when Assassin's Creed 2 at E3 was announced at some point, like people were going insane for it. Like they were going nuts. And they were showing off the new abilities and shit like that. But I think Assassin's Creed Black Flag is one of the best ones ever made though. Judging by everything I've seen and everything that I've heard, like Black Flag is held to a very high regard. So But Mirage looks really good. A lot of people are really looking forward to Mirage. And go figure, you guys said Ubisoft games, you know? Uh Sarah's most anticipated game is a Ubisoft game, and you know, let's see. Best Assassin's Creed is Black Flag, yeah. Yep. I think the fact that it's a pirate game is one of the things that gave it the popularity that it did. Odyssey is underrated. Yeah, I would probably say so. There's definitely some underrated gems out there. But I really appreciate what Assassin's Creed does. You get to see different forms of history in the forms of assassins. You know, you can't go wrong with that. Very clever. Like the original premise was very freaking clever. Is Desmond the same guy? Like in terms of the story, or do we have somebody else now? Is Desmond the same guy that gets on the machine and gets to kind of go revisit, you know, those, like, is it still him, or is he no longer around? One thing I'm also going to say while you guys are here is that I'm always going to have a love for Halo. As long as they have like something that, you know, makes me look forward to playing it, I'm always going to have a love for Halo. Alan Wake 2, yep. Yep, Alan Wake 2 is very looked forward to by so many people. Sarah in the chat is looking forward to it. I know the Half Ton Hammer is looking forward to it. Me casually downloading all Dead Space games on Game Pass. Ha. Starfield? Yeah, that's another one. I think Desmond died in Assassin's Creed 3. Okay. Okay. Yeah, just RMD, just be well aware that it's going to be running on 30. Just so you know. And hopefully that game, when that game launches, hopefully everything is functional, because that is probably the most ambitious game ever made in the history of gaming, to be honest. I might buy an Xbox just for Starfield. If you have a PC, you can play Starfield on PC and you might be able to play at 60. I'm trying to think positive, lol. Yep, so am I. So am I. I hope, hey, let me tell you, man, I hope Starfield nails it. Like legitimately. I hope Starfield nails it, and I hope the game absolutely succeeds. That's what everybody's waiting to see, Corny. Corny, everybody's waiting to see if it's going to be a mess or not. That is legit. Like literally, there's people literally waiting for that shit. You know, there's people out there that know a lot more than I do about this stuff, and they all say that like if 70% of the game works and is functional the way it's supposed to be, it would be a hell of an accomplishment because of how ambitious that game is. Like legitimately ambitious. Yeah, I hope it's good too. And also try Far Cry 5 and Starfield. I'm hoping it's good. I love No Man's Sky. I'm hoping a Fallout 5 announcement happens soon. Oh, we'll see. Um, Also, just saying Hogwarts Legacy had one of the hardest bosses in normal difficulty. Yeah, I actually have Hogwarts Legacy. I haven't been back to it since the last time I played it. But I love games that allow you to go everywhere whenever you want and however you want. That's one of my biggest appeals to games like that. I absolutely love it. Because, as a gamer and just like every other gamer out there, I mean, we like options. What else is there to say? We love options, right? So let's see. What? Okay, so interesting question for the chat. Like, if tomorrow was the day where all that content from Activision Blizzard were to go on Game Pass, what is the first thing you play? Starfield, you can't drive any vehicles on the planets? Maybe not yet. I know you can use spaceships to go from place to place, but that might be something they add in the future. You have to go everywhere by foot. Is that right? Well, I know that there's fast travel. They have confirmed that. There is fast travel. Amazing, beautiful graphics, even on old gen, but on a Series S, got crazy over the top graphics. I didn't like Redfall. Oh, of course not. Redfall wasn't even a complete game. Ghosts or BO3, those are the games you go to first. Ghosts or BO3. Corny Puddle says Ghosts. I think a lot more people like Ghosts than what we originally thought. Especially when I get to talk to you guys and stuff like that in the chat. You know what? It's like I think a lot of people really like Ghosts. I think a lot of people like Ghosts more than we thought they did. I loved it when everyone hated it. Okay. I would want to play Black Ops 1, but it's hacked. Yeah, I wish Black Ops 1 wasn't hacked. Black Ops 1 was just a gem. Black Ops 1 was too good. Shit, if I owned Microsoft and then obviously we acquired Activision Blizzard, I'd go to Treyarch and I'd be like, listen, you guys need to patch up Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 now. You know, Anthem was good but boring. I've heard that before. I heard there was something off about Anthem. I don't know what it was exactly, but I heard the same thing. I heard it was off. That's all I could say. Like I don't know specifically, but I heard it was off. I remember watching Angry Joe's review about it, and it was easy to understand why he was triggered about it. Just boring, cool idea. Should do a remake. No, it's never. You know what? Let me tell you, man. It's never boring when you do a remake because there are a good amount of people out there that love remakes and remasters, especially people like me around my age range. And at the same time, every generation loves remasters and remakes because they grew up playing something, and it's like, yeah, I'd love to see a remastered. I've been blabbing on about Spyro Remastered ever since it came out. Um, I mean, seriously, like I'm all about the Spyro games, man. I remember I would only have like two people at most in my chat, and lo and behold, they were women. At most in my chat, I would have two people when I was streaming Spyro Remastered, and it was great. I was talking to two women, and we were chatting up about the old PlayStation days, about Spyro, about everything while I was playing the game. I love Ghost so much, but I didn't buy Advanced Warfare right away. I stayed on Ghost for an extra month. Okay. The flying was great. The movement and shooting was top tier in Anthem. Uh, got gaming Riz. Not sure what Riz is, but but okay. Let's see. Somebody on Twitter is saying, actually, one of the people I follow and follows me says, rumor of old COD games is that old Call of Duty games are fixed. Crossing my fingers, and he's reinstalling Modern Warfare 3 right now. So I hope Well, you know what? This was 12 minutes ago, so I'm gonna actually tweet it, respond to that tweet, and say, let me know how it is. Because Modern Warfare 3 is one of those games, you know. So it you can. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Fizz is charisma. Riz, Fizz, charisma. Did you hear about Payday 3? It's coming to Game Pass. Yes, I did. We're too old for that one. Let's see. It means you got game if you have Riz. Well, only the ladies can tell me that. So Sarah, you'd be the only one in the chat to qualify to say whether or not that's true. Let's see. We went back to Ghost after playing Advanced Warfare after a week. Bro, Cold War was fixed, and I'm so happy. Advanced Warfare was so bad, I went back to Ghost until Black Ops 3 released. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like Advanced Warfare after like about the first month or two. A lot of people didn't, which did in fact cause people to go back to Ghosts and in Black Ops 2 for yet another year. Like legit another year. But the player count in Black Ops 2 was always good. We should get a new Titanfall, almost like a movement game. Yeah, I agree with you. Titanfall is great, but they were in development for 10 months making Titanfall 3. Um, so and then after 10 months they turned it into Apex Legends. And I'm glad you're happy about Cold War, but man, as long as EOMM exists, it's like there's no way. So let's see. Advanced Warfare was so bad. Yep, I remember that. You should get a new Titanfall. I remember that. Maybe by Ubisoft. Hint, hint. Pfft. I mean, like it gotta be Titanfall. I just want some insane skill back gap type of movement. Well, X Defiant, even though X Defiant is a boots on the ground game, it still has a movement that has a skill gap. Like, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Oh, you only play zombies? Okay. Gotta be Titanfall. Oh, speaking of which, if you like zombies, then play some Master Chief Collection, because they just released firefight mode, like as of today or yesterday, for Master Chief Collection for let's see, Halo 3 ODST and for Reach. Like not just firefight mode, but like online firefight. Like you can play like online firefight mode. It's basically its own zombies or horde mode, so to speak. It's Halo's version of what zombies is for COD or a horde mode is for Gears. To where you have to take down waves of enemies. And it's what made Halo 3 ODST famous. Halo 3 ODST was so big because of Firefight. Well, granted, the campaign was great too, and everybody liked Buck. The campaign was incredible for that game, but Firefight was something that carried that game way beyond its release to the point to where, I was surprised. Like Firefight is one of the things that sold me on that game when I saw it. Funny story. You guys want to hear a real life story related to Halo Reach? I mean, I'm sorry, not Reach, but Halo 3 ODST. If 2 or more people type 1 in the chat or yes, I'll tell you the story. Well, let's see. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. So, when Halo Reach had released, I was getting really close to the testing date for my 3rd degree black belt at the time. And I went to my friend's house, and I saw. I'm sorry, not Halo Reach, Halo 3 ODST. So, um, we went. I went to his house like it was a week or two before the day of my testing, and went to his house and got to see Halo 3 ODST because I actually had no interest in picking up Halo 3 ODST because there was no multiplayer. There was just firefight and there was just campaign. So, but I had no interest in it whatsoever. But then once I saw the game, I fell in love with it because I saw what the campaign was like and I saw that it was really good. And I also fell in love with what they did with Firefight. I'm like, wow, I was not expecting to like it this much. So, fast forward 2 weeks later, I test for my third degree black belt, and it was actually probably overall the hardest testing I'd ever done at the time. And I passed the test. The Grandmaster came down to see me. I passed the test. And to celebrate that night, I went to Walmart and I bought myself Halo 3 ODST, and I just grinded the living shit out of it. I remember going home. I remember stopping by Walmart to pick up Halo 3 ODST, but not only did I pick up Halo 3 ODST, but I was on a really clean diet because I was dropping weight to be in shape for the testing as well. So I had dropped a considerable amount of weight. So what I also did before leaving to go home with my new copy of ODST, I got myself some ice cream and some chocolate and some other treats, and I just didn't give a damn. So what I did was I spent the entire night playing Halo 3 ODST and firefight mode until I couldn't be awake anymore. And I pretty much believe that I spent the rest of the weekend doing that as well because again, I was tired. I had been training really hard for it and everything like that. So I was like, pfft. I was like, Tuh. I was like, I ain't doing anything else. It's like I'm gonna snack away, and I'm gonna play the shit out of this game. And it was a fun experience, truth be told. I loved that campaign. Like if you were to ask any Halo fan that's been around since the beginning, which Halo campaign is the best, I guarantee you that most people would probably say Halo Reach, or excuse me, I'm sorry, would say that either Halo 3 ODST would be a lot of people's votes for number one. Like in terms of Halo campaign, Halo 3 ODST would be a lot of people's votes for number one out of that entire campaign. And obviously, people really appreciate Firefight. If it wasn't for Firefight, Firefight was that one game mode that Halo was missing, right? So when they released Firefight, it just caught everybody else off guard, so to speak. It was a lot more fun than you would think it would be. And the way they offered it was just terrific. And you can co-op it with friends because Halo, as you guys know, Halo is all about co-op. Halo is all about co-op, whether it's online or whether it's on couch. That's another reason why people hate the shit out of Halo Infinite, because it there was no couch co-op. There was no split screen. Um, I mean, there was just so much that one simple game mode would change everything for the better in terms of Halo. So, to this day, I'm always gonna love Halo. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. I just there's no ways around it. There's just no ways around it. So, which Halo game, like, other than Austin, does anybody else here like Halo? Other than Austin? Because we know Austin loves it because he made that very clear. What about the rest of you guys? Do like because I want to know, like, do my viewers love Halo for whatever, for any reason whatsoever? Okay, Corny Puddle loves Halo. I'm casually playing Fall Guys. Fall Guys is great. Can't go wrong with Fall Guys. Fall Guys is great. I haven't played any of the Halo games after Bungie left. I certainly don't blame you. I certainly do not blame you at all. At all. I could never blame you for that. But I will say this though, if you like Call of Duty, you know, Halo 4 was like the perfect mix of Halo and Call of Duty, in my opinion. And I don't blame you. Can you imagine um like can you imagine if Bungie all of a sudden were to be like, "Hey, you know, we've done Destiny. We're going to come back and create a new Halo game." Like what would your reaction be? I wasn't a fan of the open world in the newest Halo. You know, I've heard a handful of people say that. I heard some people say that because you would think that you like people would love open world games, but apparently they're not for like every game out there. So, and it doesn't surprise me. It does not surprise me that people are not a fan of it. Just beat the crap out of Bowser Mario Odyssey. Oh, that's a game that I would get if I had a Switch. Some games need to stay away from open world. I agree, Corny Puddle. And I think even Sarah, and I'm not putting words in her mouth, but I think that even Sarah would agree with you to a certain extent because I remember when she said that games are becoming too long, and I think it's also because of the open world thing, because games are generally longer when they're open world. So I like a happy medium. Like I like what they did with God of War. Um, and let's not forget that open world games also take a long time to develop. How long has Grand Theft Auto 6 been in development now? It's a big deal. It's a big deal. You know, a game that big. And this is coming from a person that loves open world games, but at the same time, when people say to me that games feel like they're too long, it's like I can see where they're coming from. You get annoyed when you hear open world now. I don't blame you. Red Dead Redemption 2 was in development for 8 years, but it was worth it. Yeah. I hear good things about Red Dead 2. I played the original Red Dead. I didn't beat it or complete it, but I played the original and I thought it was really good. And I don't think I played I mean, I played like I think I played San Andreas very briefly, but it just couldn't keep my attention. Maybe it was because it was too soon for me to play a game like that. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, I heard on my social media, I've heard other people say the same. A lot of people put Red Dead 2 in really high regard. A lot of people place Red Dead 2 in very high regard. And rightfully so, because you can appreciate that game just by looking at it. Like you watch that game or you see somebody play that game and you see what that game has in it and shit, it's like, dude, It made me cry a few times, and I'm not a baby. They knew what they were doing. Yeah, same thing. Same thing with God of War. Sony Santa Monica is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, developer out there. I love Sony Santa Monica. The newest Red Dead was kind of boring to me. Maybe Sarah, did you play that game like for a short time or for a while? Because sometimes it takes that's the thing. Sometimes it takes a while before things pick up in games like that. It's a slow burn, but if you get through it, it's a true masterpiece. Yeah. Yeah, see that's the thing. That's actually quite amazing. Like on one hand, like Sarah has like a lot of patience in one way and not so much patience in a different way. Like she has patience to stealth kill everything in a game, but yet at the same time, it's like, waiting for a game to pick up, not so much, which I get. A couple days and you couldn't keep going. You mean like a couple of sessions or like I'd probably say I put 10 or 15 hours in the game. Really? So things didn't pick up after 10 to 15 hours? That's wow, that's actually kind of surprising because that's huh. Damn, it took you around 80 hours to beat the game, but did most content. So in other words, it would take longer. So let's see. I'm gonna go. Let's see how long to beat. I'm going to howlongtobeat.com and this um Red Dead. Okay, so holy shit. Okay, so to beat the main story, it took the average first in 50 hours. The main plus extras 81 hours, and then completion is to do everything that there is in the game. You're talking 179 hours. Holy shit. And then the first Red Dead to complete was 46 and a half hours at most. Damn. Wow. That's a lot of time. I'd probably say, let's see, it took me around 80 hours. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of fucking time, bro. Wow. I don't know what else to say, but just wow. Games are too long. Well, you certainly have. Between campaign and online, I spend about 40 days of time. A lot of time. A lot of time. I'm trying to think of what game I spent the most amount of time playing in that wasn't a multiplayer game. That's something that I need to seriously think about that. I mean, I beat Devil May Cry 4 on every single difficulty to the point to where when you do that, when you play the game on every single difficulty, there's a special background that comes up at the very end after the credits or before the credits or something like that that basically says, "Dang dude, go out and get some sun" or something like that. Like the game actually says that. So in my mind, I'm like, oh boy. Let's see what else. Uh, Mine was probably The Last of Us or Assassin's Creed Black Flag. No surprise there. Both of those games are really good. Both those games are really good, and they are also long games. So can't really say I blame you on those two, especially since both of them are good. But at the same time, you know, there are people out there that have spent a ridiculous amount of time on like games that are not so good, but for whatever reason they play them. But they probably like them. I mean, everybody's got different tastes. So yeah, that's what so what? See, that's the thing though. Games back in the day just hit different. So if you could pick like I don't know. What do you guys think Nintendo is going to do with their next console? Do you think there's going to be a gimmick? I'm still kind of waiting on news for Metroid Prime 4. I'm waiting on more news for Metroid Prime 4. I'm waiting on a Donkey Kong. I'm actually surprised during the Switch life cycle we have not seen a Metroid, I mean a Donkey Kong Country, a new Donkey Kong game. They confirmed something like an Xbox One, really? So something that's only limited for to 60 frames. Okay. Okay, so we're talking basically a 1080 60. Um, I know their exclusives are amazing and everything, but still, like, I'm still kind of wondering, like, how do they manage to keep on being in first place, despite the fact that they're like so, like, in terms of the popularity of the console, so behind. Well, in terms of the power of the console. I mean, obviously, it proves that you don't need the most horsepower to be in first place, which is great and all, but still, you guys know where I'm getting with this. I honestly don't know what they will do. I'm expecting the bare minimum just because they know they can do damn near nothing and still make a profit. And Sarah said, yeah, probably the same thing. Bigger screen, more battery life. That does make sense, though. That does make sense. I really, with this acquisition as well as a few other things, I just really hope we start getting some like legit good stuff. There's no way they allow backwards compatibility. I know. That's a heartbreaker though, because they've got so many freaking classics, man. There's so many games specifically that I missed out on simply because I didn't play them. Because I didn't have every single Nintendo console, so on and so forth. So it's like, bro, I'd like to play Mario Sunshine. I'd like to play, some of the other Mario games and stuff. Like, really. They will continue to switch sales. They will continue to switch sales and remake all Switch games. They know they will sell on the new one. Yeah, but well, okay. See, that's the thing. Like Mario, what's it called? Like Mario at a full 60 frames. Yeah. Mario and Zelda playing on a full 60 frames. Yeah, I think people would eat it up. There's no doubt they'll eat it up. Actually, Here comes the money, 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 money. Yep. Shane McMahon has entered the building. Shane McMahon has entered the building. But yeah, I'm really excited for. I hope the next Halo ends up being really good. It's going to be made in Unreal Engine 5, which we know that for sure, and it's a good thing. So, see. All right, so I got a little. Well, I didn't get one, but there's a tweet from Stevius, and it says, "Thunder, I can play Call of Duty again." Hashtag Modern Warfare 3. It's got a little bit of a screenshot, and I guess he just entered a lobby, and it was team deathmatch. So, huh? And I don't even have my Modern Warfare 3 disc. And I wonder how much it costs on the Xbox Live Marketplace. So, what do you guys think? How much money do you guys think Modern Warfare 3, like not the new Modern Warfare 3 that's coming. I'm talking about the OG Modern Warfare 3. How much do you think that costs on Xbox Live? Don't type it. Don't look for it. What do you guys think? I'm about to look it up right now, so I just want to see. If it costs 20, you know, I'd be shocked. Here we go. $29.99. Go freaking figure. Come on. Let's see. Collection terminal free, blah blah blah. Modern Warfare 2 is $19.99. Black Ops 1 is $30. Black Ops 2 is $50. Thankfully, I've got that one. Oh my. Oh, they keep doing this all the time. Yeah, it is too much. Sarah said 50, but she was only off by 20. Yeah, too much. It is too much. You know, you might as well go to GameStop. Let me see. How much do you guys think a used copy at GameStop sells for? Don't type it. Just type something in the chat of what you think. I'm thinking maybe 15. Let's see. GameStop. Called it. Wow, $4.99. And if I pick it up from Amazon, it's $15. Depending on what you get. I gotta look this up. I gotta go on the site itself. Xbox 360, GameStop, Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, seriously, I think it says $4.99. Let's see. GameStop. I'm on site, load up. My laptop is so slow. Modern Warfare 3 for the Xbox 360. Pick up in store today. 2 left. Really? Huh. It was $6.99, save $2, pro choice, save 25 cents, blah, 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 blah. Pick up in store. Dude. Huh. Wow. $4.99 at GameStop. Sometimes you just really never know, huh? Pretty amazing how much they sell on Xbox Live in comparison to like going to get a used copy. But it also, I also saw an Amazon price for 15, but the thing is, is it like a digital thing or what is it? Amazon for 15. Shop Prime Day deals, blah blah. Oh wow. Okay, get this, guys. It's Prime Day, or well, no, it's 50% off for whatever reason, right? Um, at 15 bucks instead of 30. Wow. But I know that G2A, um, oh, but Prime Day ends in about 2 hours and 42 minutes from where I'm at. So Nintendo DS, Nintendo Wii, PC down. I'm sorry, PC download, PlayStation 3. Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. And I'm genuinely surprised how some people just never sold their Modern Warfare 3 disc. So let's see. I think they did a great job of blah blah. Modern Warfare 3, like anything on Modern Warfare 3. I don't know. Maybe some other content creators might be making videos on it, whether or not it's legit. But yeah, it is pretty crazy how they sell that shit, isn't it? For like so much more expensive online because they know they can. And it's not even digital. In Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 3 digital code for Xbox. Modern Warfare collection for Xbox 360, 50 bucks. This digital right here, what is this? Fastest delivery. It's like, dude, no, I said digital. Oh, here we go. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 online game code. Oh, Mac OS. Nope. Another one on PC. And I'm surprised these games are still selling as much as they are, like in terms of how expensive they are. Holy shit. Yeah. No. Amazon gaming prices are usually a ripoff. Sometimes you can find good deals. So yeah, it's pretty much like your local grocery store. Sometimes they rip you off, and then sometimes they give you something good. Ugh. It's amazing, isn't it, guys? It really is amazing. It's incredible. It's stupendous. All right. Well, my ass is gonna go get ready to go play some pool. I may be back to stream some more. Like if you guys want to continue having a conversation, if you're still up, I understand that most of you will not be. But if you guys are going to be up anywhere from 2 to 3 hours from now, I may stream again, and I may be talking about some. Oh, by the way, let me know like whether it's on Twitter or whether it's on here. Let me know if there's any specific topics you guys want to get into because um I want topics. I need topics. Please give me some topics. I would love to. I want topics. If that makes sense. So again, every once in a while when somebody says something in the comments or something in chat, it's like, ooh, they just gave me a video idea. So I like to know. Oh, you know, I always have fun at pool. You know that. Putting balls in holes. Great stream, bro. I might be up later. All right. All right. Hope to see you, Corny. So, all right. You guys enjoy your night and or morning. And in about 2 to 3 hours from now, I guess I'll catch you guys later. You guys can, for those of you guys that don't follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter in case you ever want to, in case you need an update or something like that, or if you want to tweet on whether or not I'm streaming, because if I do stream, I tweet it out. But if I won't, you know, sometimes I'll go on and say, hey, I'm not going to stream for yada yada reasons. So, but hopefully you guys will get a notification if I do go live. So if I don't, I'll catch you guys on the next stream. I'm going to try to stream at least once every night for as much as I can. There are some days when I can't because of scheduling, but other than that, I don't see why not, especially since I practice my commentating late at night anyway. So you guys kind of keep me in shape, so to speak, if you think about it in terms of the commentating. So yeah, you guys be good, have fun, whatever it is you're going to be doing, if anything. So you guys got me on Twitter, so I'll see you later. Thanks a lot for coming by. I really, really appreciate it, and thank you very much for the likes. I feel the love. I really mean that. So, all right, I'll catch you guys later. See ya.